What's going on, guys? Welcome to Garage 23 and our 2022 New Year's recap special. It's been an awesome year. There's a bunch of amazing stuff that happened. Some stuff that's probably gonna get pushed to 2023 now, but we're gonna put together the best clips and walk you guys through it.
Also, it wouldn't be a Happy New Year without thanking all of you for your support. Thank you so much for liking our videos, commenting, and sharing. And not only did you guys help us get to our 500 milestone, but also the big one, the 1,000 subscribers. And we couldn't have done it without all your help. So thank you so much. And also, I just want to put it out there, but Garage 23, 2023.
Year of the Garage.
Yep. So thank you once more. Let's go into this new year doing our very best.
Yeah. Welcome to 2022. And get up. This is our Razor Crest build, a 2019 Nissan Armada 4-wheel drive, which we bought a patrol badge for because it's not supposed to be a mall crawler. But anyway, we have a Ironman shock and spring on this, which basically lifts it about 3 inches. I think we have the 2.5-inch option on the back. That's enough to screw up our suspension geometry and screw up our alignment. And if you may or may not be able to tell, eat up our tires prematurely. Well, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. So what you see there is about what we got for an adjustable upper control arm. At this point, we want to see how far we can go with the stock independent suspension. This is Project Bluebird slash Altima slash Ninetails slash, we can't decide what to call it. So if you think of something, put it in the comments. As I said before, our driver's side CV shaft was going out, and if I was a normal person, I would just replace that. But being me, I opted to do about 3 dozen extra steps and replace the entire front suspension. Okay, this has been quite the pain in the ass. And now we have to remove the tie rod from the steering rack. And if you've ever done that before, you know that's probably one of the worst jobs you can do on a car. But on these, there's absolutely no way to get anything in here until I went down to my local Harbor Freight and I found this beauty. This is not a extra strength flashlight. This is a tie rod, inner tie rod removal tool. There's your inner tie rod. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Garage 23. And if you're wondering why the picture quality is a little funny, it's because you're watching this on our brand new Joying 11.6-inch Android head unit. Anyway, today's a pretty big day. We actually crossed over 500 subscribers. That's crazy to think that 500 people have been watching us and don't think I'm a total idiot. And if you do, you enjoy it and you still follow. So that's awesome. Thank you, guys. This is absolutely the most packed stereo that I've ever seen as far as like stuff that plugs into it. It looks like that. Ta-da! We got some Crunchyroll and latest episode of Attack on Titan, which broke Crunchyroll. And we are not in the garage today. We're at Ganbatte 2.
Of the body is...
You got Honda parts on this?
Don't tell anybody.
Bro, the sacrilege.
Secret sauce. Please don't shame me.
Cut that part out. Please. What's up, guys? We're here with Josué and this awesome wide body 350Z. Tell us what you done today, bro.
I put these door handles and the sticker, that's it.
All right, so the speakers that came in the Bluebird, I've never changed. That's just what was in the car when I got it, and I never bothered to do anything about them because they sounded pretty decent. Naturally, I decided to upgrade the entire sound system. All right, so now we have a general idea of what we're working with. Ta-da! Then we can put these nice new terminals where they go. Doesn't that look nice? And thanks to our machinist friend Dan and our fabricator friend John, we finally have a prototype of our rear upper control arm. So that means our stock toe adjustment has more room now. So we could adjust that back in and get us back to zero. And today, after having the amp and speaker sit on my toolbox for 3 weeks now, we're finally getting around to finishing it off. And to do this, I just unscrewed the carpet just to make it a little easier to get the wires through the middle there.
Is that a fortune cookie?
What does it say?
The
mid-90s?
The heart is wiser than the intellect.
Oh, it works. And this week we're going to be taking a little trip down to Handyman Corner, and we're going to be building our very own subwoofer box to complete the sound system in the Bluebird. So now we got to measure what exactly that space is, and we live in America, so we're going to use the good old American foot. And today we're working on our Razor Crest build, a 2019 Nissan Armada 4x4 with a patrol badge. And hopefully we're going to be completing the alignment today. And to do that, we have the latest version of our control arm here. And we've already gone through our concept phase, our prototype phase, our revision stage, and we are finally ready for testing. All right, so we just got back from the alignment shop, and we got some pretty good news. We were able to get everything within spec on the rear suspension.
So if you haven't seen our other Junkyard videos, you want to make sure that you stick to the very end so you can see what the Junkyard prices are versus the dealership.
Despite my comment the other day on the stereo video that nobody listens to the radio anymore, somebody really liked the radio. Power 92, today's best music. 99.55, The Edge. Don't try this at home, kids. Remember, lift with your legs. Keep your back straight.
You can throw out your back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Glad you can make it. Welcome to Ganbatte Volume 3.
It is a S13 hatch, obviously, with a fully built SR20, forged bottom end, built top end, fully caged car, tube front end, just a bunch of stuff, origin body kit, fiberglass bits and pieces here and there.
I finally built the car exactly how I want. So for those people who aren't familiar with RX-7s or with FD body RX-7s, there's a lot of little custom bits that, like the laundry list is very extensive and long.
Nice.
Various things like the wheels were based on the OEM style wheels. The interior bits are all carbon fiber, but they're all the original molds, so it has an OEM plus feel for the whole car.
Right. You want to pop in the hood? You say you got a 1J?
Yeah. It's the BMW Twilight Purple.
Oh, nice.
From the
I thought it looked familiar.
individual models, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically this whole car is garage built. I painted it myself, did the kit myself, did the whole engine swap.
Nice, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
You even do the body work yourself, paint and everything?
Yeah, bodywork sucks.
So right now it's just a Monster Speed Gen 2 stock turbo, but bolt-ons, full suspension, obviously you see with the 10 wheel. Definitely tuned. Shout out my boy Eric from Jama Tune. And yeah, it's just a fun daily driver. Gets me from point A to point B, but I mean, go fast at it while, driving.
Nice. And talked to some pretty awesome builds. A lot of, garage do-it-yourselfers, which is awesome to see. It's what we do. We're installing some genuine Rocket Bunny fender flares from Japan. All right, now we're ready to start the fiberglass layout process. And for our materials, it's pretty straightforward. basically got your fiberglass resin and your fiberglass. You put them together and you make stuff. All right, so we got both pieces done. They've been sitting a while, they're completely cured, and they're pretty sturdy. And today we're gonna be doing some body work on the Bluebird project. And now we gotta fix all the ugly. And to do that, we're gonna be using some body filler and sandpaper, and we're gonna be doing lots of sanding again. And this one's gonna be like super ugly, so yeah, just don't mind that. All right, that's 2 coats of primer down, and pretty happy with the result. It came out pretty good. It's nice and uniform. The symptoms that you would experience would be, if you have any of those issues, most likely you're gonna need to replace your alternator. And depending on your car, that's gonna be a different set of procedures to get the alternator out. Everything in the 2000s, because Nissan put the VQ35 in literally everything. All right, so a little degreaser and pressure washing later, and voila. No, I'm kidding, we screwed up pretty bad and we had to go get a new one, so.
And the hunt actually will continue for us to look for some Altima fenders and some Honda parts.
The best chassis in the world.
Oh, I thought you meant for us too. I don't know. I mean, calipers probably like 20 bucks or something.
I want these calipers. You know, this thing's probably been in the junkyard forever, and no matter what, it's still leaking oil. It is. Cool. The steering wheel doesn't look
The start
bad.
button had a bedazzle ring on it too.
No way.
Yeah, it was right there.
You need to have that on yours, you know that, right?
Bedazzle.
Oh, get cute. There you go.
Okay.
So cute.
Oh yeah, if you're on a budget and need to lower your car, just stick a bunch of asphalt in it. Guaranteed to drop you like 2 inches. Cheap. Now, as far as the exterior styling goes, it's all very subtle. According to Nissan, this car was marketed toward higher level female executives, and as such, you have very subdued lines and rounded corners. This was the generation when Nissan really started to get away from the angular and futuristic design language of the 80s. And I feel it's all very reminiscent of the R33 Skyline of the same generation, but with its similar side profile and window shape. I feel like it was meant to be a more low-key alternative to the more muscular lines of the GTR. From that, there's a little bit of damage on the rear quarter panels. Got a little bit of a list ahead of us. So yeah, tell us what you think in the comments. Should we keep it? Should we restore it? Resell it? Let us know. And the first episode of our S14 restoration build drift car, we're gonna keep it stock project. I found an Infiniti J30 at one of the junkyards that I thought might have the right differential for us, and luckily it did. So we picked that up and we're gonna be installing that today. Pretty clear noise. Pretty sure that's not normal, because this one doesn't do that. Yeah, now we just need to bolt up the drive shaft, and then bolt up our axles, and then should be ready to go. Okay, we got the diff swapped out, and we got a lot less clunking. But we still got a little bit of shudder between gears. I'm guessing that's gonna have more to do with the motor mount, so that's gonna be the next thing to do on our list. And episode 2 of the S14 build / restoration. This isn't a build. We're not making a drift car. Don't get your hopes up. But today we are going to be fixing the audio system. And what I'm thinking of doing is trying to disconnect this plug from the board itself, and then making the splices on the back of the plug itself. So that way we can put the amplifiers back together and mount them back in the trunk and plug it in so it looks like factory. All right, here is our electric spaghetti.
I can taste it on my tongue.
I think that was the most difficult part of this whole thing. All right, now we can turn on the stereo and check if all our speakers work.
Check it out now at
Luckily there's a commercial playing and not music. And if you think I'm wearing the same clothes from the last video, I will neither confirm nor deny that. And we're doing the motor mounts because we still have some weird shuddering, clunking noises going on. All right, that was tons of fun, but the rest should be good now. All right, so we finished up the transmission mount, give it a little test drive, and it still has that annoying shudder between gears when you clutch in. So it's gotta be the motor mounts at this point. I don't know what else that would be unless it's like the clutch itself, which I'm really hoping that's not the case because I do not want to drop this transmission because that'd be really annoying and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna try these motor mounts, which I don't want to do either because this is just a hard chunk of plastic. Wow, I lowered it just perfectly enough to fit the mount in there. Look at this. Look at it. Like it is the precise height to fit that mount with the washers. Well, that was a huge waste of time. Yeah, the car is just 100 times worse. Do not buy these. Today we will be doing the suspension because we found a set of coilovers that popped up on OfferUp at just the perfect time. So let's get started and install those. All right, so these are the coilovers we picked up. They're Megan track spec coilovers. Okay, so like right there. Now we can just adjust this to the 50 mil that we have everything else at and put it back on the car. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of myself. First time installing coilovers and I didn't slam the car. Today we are gonna be going back to the suspension and the coilovers because the pillow ball top mounts on the coilovers were a little worn out. I was kind of hoping we could get away without replacing them because I managed to save that pillow ball and extract that bolt, but they're pretty worn out. So we're gonna have to replace them today. And this nice shiny new one is going back in, which you can see has no play, no movement at all whatsoever. So that's gonna go on there. Welcome to Crafty Cornering with Garage 23. Today we're going to be making a shift boot, and like you guys saw yesterday, we took apart our stock shift boot. Looks like something out of Harry Potter. So then you stack them up on top of each other, then you get a stapler and call it a day.
I don't know, man. That doesn't seem so out of the ordinary for him.
And that sound means we're done. Ta-da! I think it came out pretty nice. So now I just set it back in place. And that looks a hell of a lot better than the factory one did. You still going?
Yeah.
It's just gonna start that way.
I look ridiculous.
Yeah, right there. If you count the piece of actual leather, now we gotta address the next thing, and that's the gauge cluster lights. The middle light bulb is out on the gauge cluster, and I don't blame it for having gone through 423,000 miles, but rather than replace it with just another regular incandescent light bulb, I ordered a bunch of LEDs to replace all that stuff with. So let's get started taking it apart. And the last one. Butler. Ooh, pretty. Let's get out of here. And episode 8 of the no, that's not it. Welcome to the 350Z build. This is our 04 350Z Blackbird project. And today we're going to be upgrading the suspension. We're going to be going from our Attain basis coilovers to some BC BR spec coilovers. All right, so that's our old front shocks out, and these are our new ones. A little bit nicer. As far as the brand goes, I mean, I don't know, BC is fairly new, but they seem to make pretty good products. This is the first BC product that I bought, and it's already used. These are off my buddy Rafa's car, so Rafa, muchas gracias, muy agradecido. Now I can put the wheel back on. Oh yeah, we're going off-roading for sure. And at least they're even. Got a solid 2 fingers all around.
Sponsored by?
It'd be nice if Taki sponsored us. Presentado por Barcel. Prueba los nuevos mini Takis. Sabor intenso al siguiente nivel. Ahora en un tamaño perfecto para esconder de tus niños y de tu esposa. And today we are converting the S14 from 4-lug to 5-lug. I know, exhilarating. This is the least sketchy way of doing this, I swear. All right, part 2 of our 240SX 5-lug conversion. We cut last week's video a little short because it was getting pretty late, and the rear is a little more involved than the front, a lot more moving parts. We need to get the stock ones out because, as you can see, the main difference in the cables is that the factory ones have this kind of end on them, and the ones we need, this kind. So you can see, it's pretty different. So not gonna work unless you have the right one. Actually, now is probably a good time to button up the rest of this because can't really tighten those very well if all this is moving around, so. That may or may not rub. I'll have to see. So last week we started taking it apart and we removed pretty much the whole trunk area out of it because we needed this to try and repair our S14. And it went pretty well. We learned a lot, got everything off cleanly, got the tail panel off, got the floor pan off, and also managed to get the frame rails off in one piece, or 2 pieces. So that's pretty much all we need out of it. So now all that's left is to get rid of the evidence. Yeah, thanks Harbor Freight. So like I said, try and keep the blade away from the glass. There's like a spot that was like stuck again, so I like forced it through, and when I did that, it like pitched up a little bit and got too close to the glass and just, yep, 150 bucks right there. Oh, okay. Okay. Wire works a lot safer. Just takes way longer. All right, so if you guys recall, we picked the whole car up for 400 bucks, and we'll even add in what we've spent to get it here so far. So we spent $70 on renting the U-Haul and going to pick it up. And then to take it apart, we spent $60 on the drill bits, the spot weld drill bits to take it apart. So we're definitely out of the negative and we made some money so far. All right, that's enough procrastinating.
You're great! Good luck! Woo!
This feels like a very YouTube thing to do. Oh, hold on. So like nothing ever happened. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Garage 23 and our 1,000 subscriber special. Woo! Today we're taking a little bit of a break from the S14 project to fix another CDO9. I got everything taken apart and I checked the individual gears, and I finally found that it was first gear that was binding to the shaft. Yeah, our synchro sits here like this, and then those 4 prongs on the iron ring sit in these grooves like that.
What does it sound like?
Oh. Okay, last thing is gonna be our bearing race, I guess, for our reverse gear, like that. And that is our complete main shaft, which if we did everything right, should made up to our counter shaft. Like that. All right, so all we got left to do is to grind down all the spot welds, sand everything, primer, and then paint. So we took a little trip to Space Age yesterday and picked up all our supplies. Now I take a little spatula and spread it out. And we're gonna be working on this K24 build for him. What is it for exactly?
It is for my 2000 Honda Civic hatchback. And that's how you take a harness off. Yay. So you're saying Honda's better than Nissan?
I didn't say those words.
Look at those engines back there and tell them that they're not as good as a Honda engine.
Another thing that can happen is that the tensioner fails, and thus letting the chain have too much slack in it, which lets the chain jump on the gears, therefore causing your valves to come into contact with your piston.
We got a Honda in a Nissan shop. Red, look how cute this thing is. Can we just carry it and take it home? No. I swear I'll take care of it. No way,
Datsun Nissan Stanza. It's Datsun and Nissan.
Right. So, Red's gonna go wander off. I here found a Del Sol. Yay. I still think the outro should be red butt swinging left to right. Perfect.
The tool that I bought for this is gonna be the easiest, the most reliable, consistent way of replacing your valves. There's a cheaper version. I just got the most expensive one because this version of the kit lets you do this whole process with the cylinder head still on the vehicle. Yeah, so it has the pin to hold it together. And then from here, you should be able to press down on your valve. And this is basically how you replace valves in any cylinder head, basically. Any overhead valve engine is gonna be pretty much the same way. Project Parts Runner is admittedly not a truck, but it is a body-on-frame kind of vehicle like a truck. So what I'm thinking, if you guys probably already saw the quick little Photoshop edit I did, is eventually we're just gonna chop all this off. Yeah, let's get started looking for an engine.
What are we searching for today? We were able to get the engine out. Or not me. We, as in Red.
Joey almost died.
I died. I died pushing the A-frame.
All right, so this is Red's car. She's a big girl. That's Red. It's talking. And the trophies that we made last night. So, staining them till like midnight. But here we are, we made it.
Yeah, we're all set to go. Our first Hokage is gonna be Maurice Lewis, 2005 Mitsubishi Evo 8. Woo!